guys, Ash here with another Raid Shadow Legends champion guide, this time on the worst legendary in the game, maybe in the running for worst legendary in the game. Today we're going to find out if there's any redeeming qualities about Cromax Moonblood. I think the 7th champion you get in Doom Tower Hard. But first, a shout out to two of you guys who have left me a request for Cromax. We have Tyler Myers. Could you possibly talk about Cromax? I pulled him today, and his ratings are a 1 on everything. And then Infinity Adams says, now do Cromax. Well, ask and you shall receive. Let's take a look at Cromax Moonblood. All right, guys, as I mentioned, Cromax Moonblood is indeed the 7th champion that you get from Doom Tower Hard Secret Room farming. And gosh, I mean, to me, by far the worst, but it doesn't mean that you can't get any utility out of this champion. I guess that's kind of the cool thing about Raid Shadow Legends. Even the worst legendary in the game, again, in my opinion, there's a few contenders, can serve some utility. And today, I'm going to show you it. Cromax Moonblood, there he goes. Dark Elf, defense-based champion. They say on hellhades.com it's a she, I guess? I'm not seeing any telltale signs of a she. To me, it looks like a dude. I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna take a stab at it and say it's a guy. Legendary defense base, force affinity, which is pretty desirable. The base defense is pretty solid at 1421. 1800 on the HP is pretty crappy for a provoker, and speed is actually, you know, solid for a provoker at 100. We have accuracy in all battles at 70, which is very nice for progression. Maybe even a little bit in the end game, depending on where you're using him. Like in all battles, obviously can be used in Centranos as well. We have a Lunar Lance on the A1. That's a 70% chance of a decreased attack, on a single target. Not bad, not amazing, whatever. Moonlight Bonds, his A2 ability, attacks one enemy on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. Has a 100% chance when booked of placing a block buffs for 2 turns. Also fills this champion's turn meter by 30%. So a 30% turn meter fill and a single target block buffs. Pretty awful. On the A3, Blood Moon, an AoE, provoke and decrease accuracy for 2 turns. On the decrease accuracy, 1 turn on the provoke, and a 4-turn cooldown. That's gross. It's disgusting. There's tons of epics, even rares that have 3-turn provokes on an AoE. For the 7th champion in Doom Tower Hard to be bringing that to the table, it's ridiculous. The good news is an easy buff on this champion is just to make it a 2-turn provoke or bump it down to a 3-turn cooldown, right? Like, that's low-hanging fruit. It makes no sense to me at all that it's a 4-turn. Anyway, Silver Fear is the passive, has a 65% chance when attacked to place a hex on the attacker for 1 turn after each hit. So a pretty dependable hex off of the passive. You will be getting hit quite a bit, especially in kind of wave content because of that provoke. So now we can apply a hex. You put it all together, you have a decrease accuracy, a provoke on a 4-turn cooldown for 1 turn, and some hex application, a little bit of decrease attack on the A1. Again, for how long it takes to get this champion, that's part of the problem. At this point in the game, you have so many better options than Cromax Moonblood. I mean, even like a Vizix, for example, is just head and shoulders above this champion. She's a daily login champion, let alone one that you have to farm for a long time in hard secret rooms. Anyway, I've said enough negative things about him, but as you can tell, right, in very restricted areas of the game, such as, again, Centranos, can serve some utility. Like, a provoker is not bad to have, even if it is just for 1 turn every 4 turns. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the area rankings. According to hellhades.com, the best website in the biz, they give him an overall grade of 3, which I think is criminal. I love you guys at hellhades.com, but they are so high on this dude. That's like a C+. To me, he's a F, maybe a D-, because at least you can, you can land a provoke, I guess, right? Even though rares can do it on a 3-turn. Anyway, area rankings. What do they say about him anyway? Why do they justify? Look, he brings probably one of the better Hex debuffs of all Hex champions. This is clearly outdated because it's not anymore, but maybe when he was added to the game, to be fair, he had a pretty dang good Hex, I guess, on the passive there. Quite minor, as nothing else revolves around Hex in his kit, but could be quite useful when paired with another Hex champion like Mithrala or Urtikata. His kit, however, would be quite useful in Hydra. He brings decreased attack and a block buffs on a single target, which can be used with a debuff spreader champion. See, again, to me, this is a tough one, man. I mean, I see it. I'm trying to put my eyes in, like, okay, for a progression player, sure, you have to now, pair him with a debuff spreader, which you don't really like, like that sucks to have 2 champions to place a block buffs. There's plenty who can do it just all on their own. But I think it comes back to the same thing. Sure, you might want to do this in progression for Hydra Clan Boss, but this isn't a progression champion. There's no way to get him. You can't pull him from a shard, So you've already got plenty of block buff options as to where you're not going to need Cromax by the time that you're able to farm this dude, in my opinion. You guys let me know if you disagree, though. I'm not saying my opinion is right. It's just my opinion. And everybody's got one. 3.3 multiplier on the A1, average damage ranking on the single target, a 4.5, which is strong damage ranking, and a 3.6 on the AoE, which is an average damage ranking. So overall, those multipliers do not justify building for a ton of damage unless you can obviously afford to do so on your account and you don't need the survivability. Keep in mind, he will be taking quite a few hits because he is a provoker. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the build here. So for champions like this, why am I going to Vizix? Why am I going to Vizix? For champions like this, personally, I try not to like stress out about the gear, right? I'm going to be using him. He's going to be fine, given the stats that I have here. I do have accuracy on the banner. I have HP on the amulet. I have defense on the ring. Just looking for survivability here. I have a broken set on him, so I have speed with speed, ascension on the boots, and then I have HP or defense with HP on the gauntlets. Moreover, I need accuracy. I want speed. I figured I'd build a little bit of resistance, and defense is obviously good on this champion as well. So I'm just looking for those substats, and those are going to be the stat priorities on this champion. Essentially, accuracy first and foremost, survivability, speed. You can tap on a little bit of resistance there if you can afford to do so. To that end, I have a righteous chess piece on him as well. Little bit of speed, crit damage. Got very unlucky with that trip roll of crit damage. Probably would just trash this, but I figured this is all I need on this champion, right? So we talked a little bit about stats and about priorities. I'll show you. I have cruelty as a blessing here. You can go cruelty. You can absolutely go intimidating presence as well on Cromax Moonblood. I think those are probably the most popular options. In terms of masteries, this is what we went with. Just War Master, very typical kind of build here. Hug on the left-hand side, a little bit of life drinker for some survivability, obviously taking a little bit of damage on this champion, not a ton of HP. And then we went and picked up the extra accuracy masteries. We picked up Cycle of Magic, Master Hexer to extend the duration of the block buffs, as well as the decrease attack, and then Sniper to get us better chances, on that A1 of landing the decrease attack. All right, guys, let's go ahead and give Cromax a little run here. So we will go to Curse City, Soul Cross stage 18, and there it is. So this is where I actually found a use case for Cromax Moonblood. And it's not a lie. I'm not subbing him in just for, or her in or whatever, just for this content. This is actually a use case that made me max this champion. Granted, it was clan versus clan, so I figured I could use the points anyway. I'm probably sure I could have gotten through this content without the max. But here's the cool thing, right? Even on a 4-turn cooldown, a 1-turn provoke, we're able to come in here, use it right away. Decrease accuracy is nice to have. I always look personally at decrease accuracy as one of those, kind of cool to have debuffs, but not essential in any way, I know some people are bigger fans than I am, but, just trying to be real about it. Okay, let's go in with, I'm just trying to think, do I want to go in with a stun right now? But I think I do. I think I just want to go all out control here. And then what I'm going to do is try to kill Elva, the reviver, first. Everybody's provoked. I have another provoke in the holster here if I need it with Skull Lord. So we're just going to kind of get through the content here. So, I mean, that's that's really it, guys. You know, we'll show the rest of the abilities, and we'll try to get through these waves here. But we need to. Oh, she's provoked. My bad. We should probably focus on her though. She's a bit better after her buff now, Claydna. So we'll take care of her first. Go in and get these alleles out of the way. We don't want Emic to take a turn. Let's shift focus onto him. And as you guys can obviously tell here, we are... Oh, that's really annoying. As you guys can obviously tell, we're just going to A1 cycle our way through this, you know? That way, on the second wave, we're going to be totally good to go. We can go in there and we can... Oh, good job. I forgot that Razan has the buff removal there. Great. On the second wave, since we're A1 cycling, we can really mitigate the fact that provokes on a 4-turn cooldown. So, yeah, you know, not one of my favorite champions out there, but definitely is a bit of a game changer in this one specific little area. And no block active skills. That was perfect. That way we can lead in with the provoke. You got to be careful. This is the most dangerous wave on this in this content because they have a double Jirgid the Breaker. Luckily for us, though, we have a lot of control. We have Razan on the team as well. And we have the decrease attack, the AoE decrease attack from Skull-Lord. That's going to help out a lot. That's going to, you know, keep us alive here, right? So we've basically gotten through the bad part. We're going to focus, since they don't really have a traditional reviver, they do have some revive with Lady Cybele. Actually, let's just go ahead and provoke her. Let's provoke her. I'm not sure what she's going to do. Let's go in with the Bog Down again. Beautiful. I think that Razan Scarhide is still a must-fuse champion for everybody, you know? I mean, you're going to do it anyway, but I think he's a champion that you can still get utility out of. He's really solid. I really loved, on that second wave, too. I really loved how he went in there and stole those unkillables, saved me some valuable time, right? I think we're already, even though we're fairly early in terms of a lot of HP on the enemy team here, you can kind of go in there and just do a little bit of 81 cycling here through these hegemons, through the Mother Cybele eventually. But guys, what do you think of this champion? Do you think I'm too hard on this champion? I would love to hear your honest feedback. I know you give it to me either way. I mean, I'm assuming people watching this video are probably more towards the end game of Raid Shadow Legends because, you know, I imagine you have him unless you just watch all the guides, regardless of whether you have the champion or not. Definitely needs a buff, in my opinion, you know, but as I'm showing you here, I mean, we go in with a provoke again. It's nice. It's nice to have, right? Who do you want to kill first here? I guess there's no like super uber threat. I don't really particularly like dealing with a Faye, so we'll take care of her first. Fushan with a big nuke. Oh, there we go. We can put it on auto from here on out. Listen, guys, I could show you other content. The provoke on that long of a cooldown, to me, it's not much. It's not viable for Magma Dragon. I'd rather have a provoke on an A1 or you know, a champion like Skull-Lord, for example, who's on the same team. So other areas to use Cromax, mainly restrictive content like this, because you're not going to get him where he might be viable in the early and the mid game, you know? Anyway, guys, that's going to do it. We don't need to make this guide any longer than it needs to be. But, you know, damage-wise, not too bad there, really, you know? Obviously, Fushan, you know, coming up with over half a million, so going to be our main damage dealer there. But Cromax can definitely add a little bit of control, made a little bit of damage to your team. Some nice debuffs in that kit. They just need to rework it to make him more viable for actually when you get him in the game. If I haven't made that point already, hey guys, keep the champion guide requests coming in the comments below. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.